Alan Monroe calls the second step of the motivated sequence the need step. He also talks about it as being a problem step too. In other words, you have to establish the problem or the need that the audience has and have them agree with you, and before you can motivate them to action, before you can get them to do something, which is your solution or satisfaction step. So the problem step is generally the hardest one for us to articulate. We know it. It's one of those things, well, I know what it is, I just can't say it. But we have to say it. We have to get it out to the audience. And the better you can articulate the problem step, the better chance you have of convincing an audience to do something. Now, when I'm talking about a problem step or a need step, this is a problem or a need the audience has, not the problem or need you have. I remember I was working with a nonprofit organization and helping them with fundraising and putting out their message. And one thing I had very difficult time of getting across was that you have to think of the problem that the people that you want to donate to you have, not the problem that you have. I mean, it's good. They'll like to know the problem you have, and then they know they want to help. But the main thing you have to focus on is the problem they have. So if you're talking about how you're having a hard time meeting a demand in society, and you're having a hard time getting the money, and you don't have the resources of people or education of the people and that sort of thing, and you need money to help you out to get going, that's only part of it. Some people will be motivated to help you in that way because they like helping people, but the majority of the people, they won't be motivated to help unless there's something in it for them. Okay, so how does it solve the problems I have? So if I'm sitting in an audience for a nonprofit and they're asking me to donate money, I want to know what is the problem I have this will make my life better. Okay, not just make your life better, make your organization better. If you can relate it to the community, how this will make the community better, well, that would work because I do want to live in a good community. So it's it's nuanced here. All right, so what we have to do is we have to make the audience feel the pain of our problem. So for instance, my example of where I want you to buy a house, and I talked about the attention getter and how I found out how somebody's making a lot of money buying a house. And I thought, well, maybe I can do this. But I want to establish the problem first, because if you don't have a need, so for instance, for this to work, almost have to limit it to college students, unless I connected the dots to other people too. But I would make it to college students. So for the problem I would set up, would be along these lines. So after I went through the attention getter and said, and you too can probably make money or go to school for free or go to, have more money in your pocket when you graduate by buying a house. So I want to lay out the problem. So when I walked onto the campus and I started taking classes, it was a lot of fun and I enjoyed it, but I ran into this big problem, and that was that how was I going to pay for all this? And I had saved lots of money and I was paying for it, but I was running out of money fast. And I really didn't want to work because I wanted to go to college. So when I really analyzed, I looked through all the bills and noticed that I was paying a lot for food. I was paying a lot for college tuition. The books were outrageous, and I feel the pain of books. And those costs and all that. But the biggest cost that struck out to me was my rent, the cost of living, just rent and food, room and board, basically, is what it was. So according to the Chronicles of Higher Education, that the biggest expense students face is not simply tuition and books, it is room and board. All right, so then I can go on like that and talk about more details on what all the pain of the cost. Now, the idea is you have to make the audience feel the pain of the problem. So they have to feel the pain of the problem or the need. So they have to feel they have a need. And then when they feel they have a need, then they'll be motivated to do something. But if they don't feel the problem and they don't feel the need, you will never convince them. We only do things if we have to solve a problem or satisfy a need. All right, so that's the only thing that motivates us to do things. So stick with your thinking that way. You're talking about a problem the audience has, and you're strictly talking about a problem. You're not giving the solution yet. Don't mention in the problem step at all your solution, because then you'll take away the surprise of what the good solution is. So don't mention it at all. Just about the problem we have or the need we have, okay? And then you'll come up with the solution or the satisfaction for us in the next step.